The Mariners are capitalizing on their 2025 success with the long-awaited return of FanFest next month. That and more coming up here on The Final Out.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. You're listening to The Final Out here on the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. My name is Cijntje Gonzalez. I'm a lifelong Mariners fan who's been covering the team for over half a decade, and today I'm going to test around an idea I've had for a little while, and this is kind of the perfect week to do it. So basically, this show is going to be a quick rundown of some of the Mariners news and notes that Colby and I weren't able to get to during the week. I'm going to be aiming to make these about, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes long, maybe 12 to 20 minutes long. And for now, I'm going to call it The Final Out. I don't know. I kind of like it. But if you guys have other suggestions, feel free. Maybe something more Mariners centric, so let me know and maybe we'll switch it up. So, yeah. So we're going to talk about FanFest returning, which is really exciting. We got an announcement of the Mariners 2026 coaching staff with a new addition we previously didn't know about. And we've also got further confirmation that the Mariners are probably not trading Luis Castillo this winter. But let's start with FanFest. It's back. We have gotten asked about the return of FanFest so many times over the many years that we've been doing this podcast. Now, obviously, the last time that it officially happened was in 2019. The Mariners have since tried out some other, I would call them FanFest cope events, but they haven't actually been Mariners FanFest, the Mariners FanFest that we all, know and love. But yeah, it hasn't been back since the pandemic happened. Last time that happened was 2019. And the Mariners yesterday officially announcing that it's coming back January 31st and February 1st in 2026. You can get tickets right now. They are $22.45 each for general admission, and then $11.25 per ticket for kids 14 and under. And they've already announced some special guests, including Raleigh, who's only going to be there on the Saturday. So Saturday, January 31st. Julio's going to be there. Josh Naylor is going to be there, which is really cool. Kirby's going to be there. They've also announced some prospects. Colt, Emerson, Kade, Jurrangelo, Cijntje, some of the best dudes in the Mariners farm system are going to be there. There should be more names as well. They say more names are coming soon. So more major leaguers, more prospects. It should be a lot of fun. And obviously, Mariners coaches are going to be there. I assume, Gary Hill, Aaron Goldsmith, Rick Riz, all those guys are going to be there. Mariners legends are going to be there. They've announced autograph sessions. There's going to be photo opportunities. Obviously, dugout dialogues are going to be back where you can chat with, guys like Julio, and maybe there will be, a Jerry DePoto one or a Justin Hollander one. They've done that in the past as well. So yeah, it should be really cool. I've only been to FanFest once when I was 10 years old, and it was a lot of fun. Got to run around the bases, got to play catch in the outfield, got to hit a ball off of tee out in the outfield, got to do a bunch of stuff. It was really cool time with my dad and my brother. And I'm sure they got a lot of that stuff returning as well. I know that they confirmed that there's catch in the outfield. It says experiences like playing catch in the outfield and so much more. So if you want to get out to the ballpark, I think a lot of us are hungry for the return of baseball. So if you want to get back out to the ballpark sooner than expected, you got an opportunity to do so, and got an opportunity to meet some M's and get to go out on the field and all that stuff. I mean, that's just really cool, especially if you got young ones. I know that was super cool for me as a kid to actually go on the field and go into the dugout and all that stuff. It was really, really fun. So yeah, super happy that FanFest is back. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to attend, but would love to come out for one in the future. So hopefully this one is a success, and we never have to go through this, thing again of wondering if FanFest is going to happen or not. So yeah, props to Kevin Martinez and the organization for finally getting this thing put together and finally bringing FanFest back to the fans. And it comes at, no better time, obviously, coming off of the season that the Mariners just did. So yeah, really cool. So the Mariners today officially announced their coaching staff. We already knew about quite a few of the moves that have happened with the Mariners coaching staff. Quite a bit of turnover. Christopher Negron now leaving to go to Pittsburgh. Tony Armrich and Andy McKay both going to Cleveland, though McKay wasn't actually part of the Mariners coaching staff, but still that was a very big loss for the Mariners organization. So not too many changes other than the new additions on the coaching staff. Manny Acta back as the bench coach. Edgar's back as the senior director of hitting. Eric Young Jr. back at first base. That is huge. He was such a huge part of the coaching staff and the Mariners stealing bases and all that last year. So great to see that he's back in that same role. We'll get to the third base coach in a second. Christopher Negron's replacement. Because that's kind of interesting. Kevin Seitzer back as the hitting coach. Bobby Magallanes back as the assistant hitting coach. Jake McKinley, who was hired from the University of Nevada. He is the major league field coordinator. I think we talked a little bit about that on the show. Osanola, we definitely talked about this one. This one is really cool. He's coming back to Seattle to be the bullpen coach, replacing Tony Armrich. Trent Blank is back. Pete Woodworth is back. It was reported by Ryan Divish that the Mariners were bit concerned that they were going to lose both of those guys. Those guys have been so instrumental to the success of the Mariners pitching staff, and thankfully they were able to get something done with both of those guys to keep them in the Pacific Northwest. Danny Farquhar back as the assistant pitching coach and pitching strategist. Perry Hill back as the infield coach, and then Fleming Baez and Justin Novak, the bullpen catchers. Both of them are back. So going back to McKinley real quick, he's the major league field coordinator for the Mariners last year, or this year, whatever, however you want to look at it. The Mariners had Lewis Boyd as their major league field coordinator. He's not on the coaching staff here, but he was not hired away. He actually got a promotion. He has now been named the assistant director of player development for the Mariners. So that's really cool. I know Boyd is very well respected in the Mariners organization. So congratulations to him on the new role. But yeah, so third base coach. Mariners have a new one. His name is Carlos Cardoza, and I'm not going to pretend like I know a whole lot about Carlos Cardoza, but this is going to be his 11th year in coaching, first year in the majors. He was most recently the manager of the Frisco Rough Riders, which is the AA affiliate of the Texas Rangers, and he had quite a bit of success there. So there you have it. Osanola, Jake McKinley, Carlos Cardoza, the new additions to the coaching staff. Everything else pretty much the same, aside from the obvious departures and then Lewis Boyd getting that promotion. So there you have it. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about Luis Castillo. It seemed likelier and likelier over the last few weeks that Luis is going to stay put in Seattle, and we've gotten even further confirmation that that is likely going to be the case. We'll go over that in just a moment, but first a reminder, the Final Out is brought to you by GameTime and FanDuel. The World Cup is coming back to North America for the first time since 1994. And with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets is usually the hardest part. That's why the GameTime app is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With GameTime, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts when great seats open, and buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. Pull up the app, and the layout makes it so simple to scroll through matchups and compare seat views. Pick a game, tap a section, and have your tickets locked in within minutes. No confusion, no hunting for fine print. Prices include fees up front, which I love because there are no last second surprises at checkout. So take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets in every match, concert, or event with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go, Game Time. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment as live spreads and money lines adjust instantly and player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. This is the final out here on the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you, as always, for making Locked On Mariners your first listen for all things Mariners. And also thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. So Adam Jude has dropped another article. He's been killing it this week over on the Seattle Times. Today, dropped an article talking just a little bit about the Mariners overall, what they're planning on doing, what they're trying to do, what they're probably not going to do this winter. More of a general article than the last two. But a couple of nuggets, mostly just kind of reconfirming what we've really ultimately known already. The Mariners unlikely to trade for Tarek Skubal. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I don't have to be happy about it, but I get it. And they are probably not going to trade away Luis Castillo, which, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It's just such a complicated situation for all the reasons that we've talked about ad nauseum on the show, not just this winter, but also last winter. And also, things have changed, right? Castillo, with all the injuries in the Mariners rotation this year, he was the stabilizer. Obviously, things got ugly at times for Castillo, but ultimately he was the stabilizer. He was solid in the playoffs as well. That's the Mariners guy. And he became even more important to them over the course of 2025 and a season coming off a winter in which they did heavily consider trading him. But this winter, not going to be the case because, look, I mean, Logan Gilbert's got the elbow thing. He's not getting surgery to address that. So that's still kind of, got to linger in the back of your mind, like what's going on with that. Bryce Miller earlier this year said that he would need to have surgery to address whatever he was dealing with in his forearm. Now sounds like he's not getting surgery. So have to wonder about that. Bryan Wu obviously has two, Tommy John surgeries in his past. George Kirby had a shoulder thing this year. So just with all the injury concerns and all the injuries that guys are coming off of, having Castillo around, someone that posts outside of what was he dealing with at the end of 2024? Was it an ankle or something like that? Outside of that, though, which was ultimately minor, the only reason they missed the end of the season was because it just happened so late in the year. Outside of that, he has been available. So makes all the sense of the world that Castillo is going to say. And again, it was just such a complicated situation from ballpark fits, the concerns over his drastic splits, home road splits, the money, what the Mariners do after trading him, what do they do in the rotation? How much of the money that they would theoretically save on him would they have to reinvest in getting his replacement? Yada, 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 yada. Just so many complications. And now you add in all the concerns about Gilbert's elbow and Bryce and all that. It just, it's become pretty clear that trading Luis Castillo actually really not as much of an option as maybe we thought heading into this winter. So it looks like Luis Castillo is here to stay at least for one more season. And that is the final out. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been your host, Cijntje Gonzalez. You can follow me on Twitter at Cijntje Gonzalez and on Blue Sky TDG. If you like this style of show, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you like the name. If you don't, let me know if you have a better idea. Would love to hear it. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day and a beautiful baseball weekend. We'll see you next time. Peace.